On this month, 7 years ago, the month of April, Potato launched a little MvM operation called Memes vs Machines on April Fools. It was a very short event that featured a plethora of jokey and non-serious meme missions, and they were universally praised for their time. Throughout the years, there has been multiple April Fools operations, with later entries handled by the former Moonlight MvM group, and with every subsequent entry comes many new wacky things to experience and enjoy. But in 2023, the series would unfortunately be retired with Operation Last Laugh, due to the creators at the time deciding to move on from the series. But very fortunately, 3 years later, Potato will revitalize the series with the launch of Memes vs Machines Repealed. In this operation, which I will be dubbing as Repealed onwards, there are 11 missions spanning across the 11 maps. I did get a chance to play the meme missions during the beta, and so in this video, I'm going to be showing off some of the things that every single mission here has to offer. There will be some gameplay spoilers up ahead, but towards the end, I will be going over on how you can play these missions, so you can skip ahead of the video to learn more. But anyway, it's time to quickly go over the missions of Repealed. A Dark Zone is a nightmare endurance on Villa, directly inspired from Deltarune Chapter 4. In this mission, every player is restricted to playing Scout only, and they must navigate through the map's maze-like structure to look for a key and bring it towards the end of a maze. However, along the way, you'll encounter Jackenstein, or in this mission, Hattenstein, who loudly declares the line and starts chasing the key holder around. At certain points of the mission, you do get to power up and start dealing damage towards Hattenstein, weakening them enough to partake in the final battle. The mission does start off easy to help you get in the groove of its unique gameplay loop. However, the maze layouts, the puzzles, as well as the timing of Hattenstein's arrival changes over the course of the mission. The voice line will also get YouTube poops, and the experience gradually becoming shitposty in nature. There are 20 mazes in total to get through in this one-wave endurance, and well, not to spoil too much, but there is a secret that is locked behind a very expensive upgrade in the custom upgrade menu. And speaking of upgrades, there are various amounts of custom upgrades and overclocks for every single scout weapon and item, as well as a few custom weapons, the notable of which includes pistol that shoots high gravity rockets, and pistol that shoots high inverted gravity energy lasers. But overall, its unique gameplay elements as well as being a one-to-one recreation of the source material makes this a standout entry that's worth checking out. Hexerfixation is an intermediate feature on Coastrock. Much of what there is to witness resembles the classic 2019 and 2020s era of April Fool's MvM, from how the jokes are laid out as well as how the missions from that era play. There are quite a lot of references the mission makes throughout the waves, those including Overwatch, Celeste, the Nintendo games, as well as Toho of all things. It's a relatively vanilla experience with a nostalgia factor built into it, so it is worth checking out. Too Many Cooks is an expert mission on Cliffside. This is the mega collab mission of this event, that is, having more than 3 creators making the mission, which is why the credits down below has Too Many Cooks. This mega collab mission has a very unique spin, however. Rather than having every wave made by one different creator, it is instead every single sub-wave made by one creator, leading to the experience wildly varying quality throughout. It is very silly to feel to jump from one subway to another, although there can be some particular ones you'll encounter that are on the more challenging side. Agnosiachromatopsia brings you to an alternate version of Manworks called Uncannyworks. It is no doubt uncanny with this monochrome landscape, a whole bunch of cat things like the sun and the light bulbs, the vast array of uncanny cat blocks and Goob cubes. Now, this mission is categorized with a master difficulty label, which is a step higher than expert. However, the label itself is as much of a joke as the mission itself, and it does feature plenty of mainstream memes and, well, cats. Many of the waves are also references to other games, with one that is very much inspired by a small indie game called Uncanny Cat Golf. And there is also one wave directly inspired from WarioWare, making you play through several mini games at a time. There is a crazy amount of effort put into this entry, including a few cutscenes that are properly animated, and I highly suggest checking this mission out. Hunting Season is an intermediate mission on Maplehill. The mission is very much bird-centric. As such, you will fight various bird robots while laughing along with a couple bird jokes thrown in as well as some other references. There's also a character named Chuck that will also comment along the way. There are unique elements in the gameplay, such as the use of custom AI. The Demonites in particular will trimp from the boulder at the front and fly sky high. Sentry Busters will also do the same thing as well, dive bombing towards any sentries and exploding upon landing. And then there's also Bird Scout supports that will repeatedly jump around in the sky around you. Something on the Air is an intermediate mission featured on the workshop version of Transmission. Much of the appearance as well as the layout of the map has been significantly changed, so it does take some time getting used to the new changes. But back to the mission. The mission decorates the map with a bunch of TVs and characters, of which I think is from a game called Little Nightmares 2. The mission also features a narrator that speaks in text, narrating over the story and memes that unfolds over the course of the experience. Not to get too far into spoilers, but you'll definitely be fighting plenty of wacky boss throughout and experience a few dialogue heavy scenes on some waves. Single Soldier Robot is an expert mission featured on the classic Coaltown map. Compared to the other meme missions, this one is much more TF2 centric and largely self-contained with its plethora of jokes and such. It follows the narrative of fighting the Single Soldier Robot, having you deal with the shenanigans the supersized soldier bot puts you through. And there are plenty of unique and fun ways of how the waves are laid out. From my own personal experience, the difficulty label itself is also an intended joke, falling towards intermediate in actuality as the gameplay is very easy and straightforward. The mission is a treat and does present itself in a lot of interesting ways, definitely worth checking out. Bump in the Night is an intermediate feature on Decay, a Halloween version of Decoy, and much like the map, the mission is Halloween centric. However, rather than just relying on spellbooks throughout, the gameplay is mainly centered around bumper cars, running over the various amounts of bots featured throughout. The mission has a custom upgrade menu to allow you to upgrade yourself as well as the bumper car, allowing you to increase your damage on contact as well as dealing damage around you passively. Some ways will have Marasmus placing duck pickups around the map, and collecting enough ducks will allow you to power up and deal massive amounts of crit damage with guns and melee weapons. Very useful for the tanks that are otherwise invulnerable to bumper car damage, as well as an inevitable boss fight that appears towards the end of the mission. Total Chaos is a mission featured on a massive map called Titan. This is quite an oddball entry. The mission has several rebalances across the board for every single weapon and item in the game. As far as I'm aware, this is all part of a small project called Chaos MvM, which overhauls the entire game mode. This is why all the bots on screen look pretty strange with their glowing auras and the such, but the bots themselves are rather challenging, some inflicting various status effects while others are stronger variants, ranging from chaos to elites. Another unique thing about this mission is that it allows 2 additional players on the team, meaning any server that's running the mission can have up to 8 players in total. This mission also has its own unique difficulty label with the same name, being Total Chaos, but from my own experience it more or less falls into the same label as in Advanced. Regardless, I'd say the experience here is quite chaotic. There is a lot of things going on with this mission, and while the mission doesn't drop any money or have any upgrade stations at all, the rebalanced weapons and items are enough to give some replay value. Though as of recording, the mission hasn't provided a link in game that brings up the full documentation of weapon changes. It's only available on Potato's Discord right now, but yeah, I'll have the link in the description down below. Roguelikemod is an upgrade mod. This entry completely replaces the standard upgrade menu with a source mod menu. There is now only a select number of upgrades to choose from, of which are completely randomized similar to a roguelike game. And there are several tiers of upgrades, ranging from rare upgrades to legendary upgrades. You start off with 6 upgrade points and gain 3 upgrade points after completing a wave, but you only get 1 single chance to reroll during the mission. You also unfortunately can't refund said upgrade points, and the credits you earn are only usable for buying back in. But the coolest thing about these upgrades isn't just the fact that you can basically get any upgrade, but it's that they apply to your class rather than the weapons, so you're free to swap out any weapons or items at any point. This upgrade mod does allow for build crafting similar to a roguelike as I said before, so you could come up with wacky and powerful combos. Now the reason why I call this one an upgrade mod is that it's kind of the only thing this entry does. The footage you're seeing is simply a Valve mission that was recycled for this event, of which is Bavarian Bot Bash from 2 cities. But yeah, Roguelikemod does make this mission feel completely different to experience, definitely worth giving a try. And finally, the last mission on the list is Deja Vu Deja Mort. This mission is featured on a new map called Mind Bloom. By far the most unique entry in this operation in that it is a boss rush mission, and that much is reflected by its unique difficulty label of the same name. This mission will have you facing a randomized selection of mini bosses and bosses across 19 waves, including those seen from community missions in the past, those that are unique to this mission, as well as those that are small teasers for the upcoming main operation this summer. Many of the map's arenas are also taken from familiar locations where such bosses were featured. While the 2 creators here have built both the map and the mission respectively for you to enjoy, all of this would not have been possible without permission from several other creators, and they have all been graciously credited along the walls in this so-called credit room that you can walk in yourself to spot some of your favorites. In total, there are 60 bosses spanning across 20 map arenas. The mission is without a doubt the longest one to complete on this list, but to many community MvM players, this is a massive love letter to all the past works within the small corner of TF2, allowing you to re-experience the peaks of humanity condensed into a neat little package. Now with all the missions shown off, I am going to be talking about some of the more miscellaneous stuff and how you can play Memes vs Machines repealed. To play this operation, all you have to do is go to Potato's website, potato.tf, there's the server tab, and there you go, that's how you can play Meme 6 with however many slots there are on the server. All the stuff's pretty self-explanatory. Log in with your Steam account, see your progress and all that, although everything's done in the background so this part isn't really necessary. What is necessary, in my opinion anyways, is the asset pack. The assets used in meme missions can be pretty big in size and take a while to download while connected to a server. So downloading them from the website and dropping the assets into your TF folder will help you load into the servers much faster. The one and only metal turn for repealed is the unpeeled potato, which can be acquired by completing 8 out of 11 missions during the event's duration. The charity this time around is for direct relief, in support of the Hawaii Kona storm relief, and the goal is set for $20,000 to meet. As usual, there are 3 medals separated by donation tiers. For $5, you can get the Giving Tanks. For $20, there is the Equestrian Year's 4i to grab. It's the year of the horse after all. And then finally, for $35, there is the Soggy Sapphire, and this genuinely has nothing to do with me whatsoever. But that's all there is in regards to repealed. This newest entry in the MvM meme series has been a long time coming for many fans such as myself, and from experiencing firsthand, it was definitely worth the wait. Hopefully any of the missions shown to you today will pique your interest. This event will last until May 25th. However, if you do happen to miss out, there's a good chance that these missions, as well as those from other meme operations in the past, will be archived in Potato's archive servers. I do have a few other videos planned for this event, so feel free to hit subscribe if you want to look forward to that. If you enjoyed this video, like it and share it as well, so that we can gaslight as many people as we can into thinking that this is the MvM update.